Some children began their journey into pornography because they saw it on their parents' phone. Maybe the father and the mother have a kind of magazine they put under their bed. You put something under your bed. Are you raising fools? You're not raising fools now. They will check the bed. They check everywhere and they see it. And they will never talk. If some parents know the things some of their children have discovered about them, they probably will not be shouting the way they are shouting. The child knows many things just looking at them. This is Christmas period and many children will be abused again. And the parents keep taking them back to the same family house where they are abusing them because they trust the uncle over their own children. Some have not even built the system of knowing when your daughter is saying no. Are you aware that it is important to train your children to learn to say no? When they are affirmative and they are saying, I don't just say he's stubborn. Understand that you are to train their will. Make them stand enough to say no. If you kill that thing, they will not be able to say no to outsiders. Jane, sit down there. Hey, mommy, no. They are curious. Why should I sit down? Explain. See, the problem in Africa begins from childhood because we kill curiosity. We kill the ability to explain. So we are trying to raise children like zombies. You don't question, you obey. And no society change until you question realities. You must question. We just say these things and say, when I talk to you, you don't complain. No, they should ask questions. That's how it starts. They are curious. They are wondering, why would you just study this actual of the cartoon? Children who are raised with explanation become better than those who are raised with force. And that's why when many children step out of their parent house, they know they will never come back. Because a soldier raised them. You didn't raise a friend. You can't give what you don't have. You want to raise godly children, be godly parents. That's the way it is done. The most important battle cry of the devil is to get anybody into isolation. That is the most important thing. Get them cut off from people. Get them off their normal relationships. Get them off this. Now we are seeing people are dying in their house and they have died for 2 months. Nobody knows because they are not interacting with people. They won't greet their neighbors. And it looks as though the richer you become, the more isolated you become. There's no beauty to any big house if you don't have people inside. There are things that God has provided that they define wealth at this level of wisdom. People, relationships, the fact that we can interact. And let me beg you something. As God lifts you, never throw away human relationship, because there's the tendency to get into isolation because of fear. People will hurt you, but you still need people. You're gonna build it. In fact, it's now so bad that people want to get married. There's nobody that can be their best man or chief bridesmaid. They call people that they have no emotional connection to and say, can you help? So I can help. Build the relationships. Quality ones. People you can laugh together, play together, cry together, love God together. Sometimes they may not understand your reality, but it does not change the fact that you need them. The most important battle cry of the devil is to get a person into isolation. Most display of addictions happens in isolation. Nobody just owns a laptop. Oh yeah, put a laptop here. Start playing pornography. Nobody will do it. You will not have erection because sin repels light. It happens in the dark. You are hooked on pornography. You will notice you always off light. So people form addiction at their lowest moment. What the devil does is to get into isolation, then give you a toy. Never forget this. God told Adam, he said, don't eat of the tree in the middle of the garden. The day you eat of it, you will die. They ate it. Physically, they were still alive, but they noticed they were naked. So they hid themselves and they covered themselves with fig leaves and began to hide. Then God came that evening and said, Adam, where are you? He said, I heard your voice in the garden and I hid myself, for I'm naked. God did not say, have you eaten the fruit? God said, who told you? Sin is not the end. It is an avenue for you to believe something. The moment you fall into sin, the devil can now go ahead and tell you what he wants to tell you, that you are not really loved. Your life is finished. You are naked. You can no longer do what God said you should do. You are no longer important. You are finished. It is called condemnation. Once you believe it, you will struggle to come out. Sin is a nature, can also be an act, but condemnation is the grip. Let's take sin as a prison. The doors is condemnation. So Paul speaking to the Romans in Romans 8 verse 1, there is therefore now no more condemnation to them which are in... Hold on. Amongst these them, we have that one that is still struggling with pornography. Amongst these them, there is still that one that is struggling with lies. There is one that is addicted to phone. You see, the moment you can perceive God right, that he is not the one trying to kill me or rejecting me in this, then you will actually understand that he's the one trying to bring you out. Then you'll be able to align. You must have a righteousness consciousness.